Good evening. I'm Susan Roberts with your CNN Evening News. Here are tonight's top stories. Tonight we bring you breaking news from Paris, France, where we have found ancient videos that seem to be an audition for the prestigious Académie Royale des Sciences and Philosophy. We take you now to Lorraine, our off-site newscaster, to tell us more. Can you hear me, Lorraine?
Yes, good evening. I am coming to you live from Paris. And let me just say that the French are just as surprised to find videos from the 17th century as we are. The bustle out here has been non-stop since the discovery was released. The video appears to include famous philosophers Jean-Jacques Rousseau and Mary Wollstonecraft in a debate to receive membership into this esteemed academy. Take a look. Hello, Jean. How pleasant it is to see you.
Always a pleasure, Mary.
So, how are the kids? Oh, dear me, I forgot. They're rotting away in an orphanage.
Oh, Mary, I've always found your humor so delightful. Now may we please get to the reason why we're here.
Of course. Good day, everyone. I am Mary Wollstonecraft, mother of two beautiful daughters. I am also an English writer, philosopher, and advocate of women's rights. Some of my works include A Vindication for the Rights of Men, A Vindication for the Rights of Women, Maria, and Thoughts on Education of Daughters, just to name a few. I also started a school for girls in Newington Green, London. I am so grateful to have this chance to be considered for the Academy.
Hello. I am the extremely intelligent Jean-Jacques Rousseau. The number and location of my children is irrelevant. And I am much more intelligent than Mary, because I'm a writer, philosopher, and composer. I view that society is artificial and corrupt, and that the experiences of society can corrupt a good person. I was an influencer of the Enlightenment in France, and a lot of the aspects of the French Revolution. I invented my own system of musical notation, which was numbered and compatible with typography, and I've created a few operas. I won an essay response for an essay competition in the Academy of Dijon in 1750, with my work, A Discourse of Science and Arts. This work brought me lots of fame and recognition. My most famous and important writing was Emile, which touched upon how to raise a child, breastfeeding, interaction of children with the world, and female education, which Mary rudely criticizes, like she criticizes everything.
I found it intriguing that you would think you have a right to appoint your opinion on subjects that you have no experience in, which is why I found it necessary to critique your work in my book, A Vindication for the Rights of Women.
Women are passive, weak beings that are made especially to please men, but I believe that men should do the same in return. Because men are stronger and more dominant, it's only right that they have more control.
Rousseau says that we should treat women like men, and the more they resemble our sex, the less power they have over us. But my view is that it doesn't matter if we have power over men, but over ourselves. To achieve this independence, we must allow the individual to obtain habits of virtue through education. You argue that women should be taught to only aid men and rely entirely on them for everything, and that they should have all control. However, to be a good mother, a woman must have sense and independence of mind, which few women possess, because they are taught to rely on their husbands. Thus, they could not be good mothers. You would know nothing of this, because you are a man. And may I add, gave away your children?
I did what I thought was right for my children, and that they'd be better off to be raised as peasants and workers by the state. Should I go against what I believe is right? I know you did.
You may follow your own beliefs, but it just proves my argument that you truly aren't fit to have respectable opinions on these topics. You yourself don't even believe you are a proper person to raise kids. And whatever do you mean that I go against my own beliefs?
If I'm a hypocrite, you are too. Throughout your writings, you say numerous times how married women are weak. And here you stand today, married yourself. And in your life, you spiraled and went against everything you represented, like getting married.
I can't deny that I did go back on what I said, but it still rings true to some extent. For I am an independent and educated woman, and knew what I was doing. My husband and I are equals.
Let's move on to more important things, like my most famous writing, The Social Contract, in which I talk about the role of government in people's lives. My most famous words ever written were in this book. Men are born free, yet everywhere are in chains. I live in a world of absolutism in France, where the government controls too much of our lives, and I believe that the government suppresses the physical freedom that is our birthright. and that they do nothing to secure our social freedom. Therefore, the only way that there could be political authority is if the people agree to how the government is controlling. This incredible book that I wrote made Locke's ideas famous, and he owes me for his fame and fortune.
Yet you did not come up with the idea, you simply made it popular. It is hardly incredible that you agreed with someone and got all the credit.
Well, you weren't the only woman that supported women's rights. You wrote books on it. This is just what people do. We got similar ideas, but it's in our own writing. Your argument is invalid.
Touché.
On that note, it seems we're at the end of our debate.
Thank you for your time. I hope you would take into consideration all of the points made and review them justly for the membership into the Academy.
Au revoir.
Isn't that a fascinating historical discovery? It is amazing that the video from the 17th century could even exist, but it is quite exhilarating. Susan, back to you.
Well, that really was an amazing find, Lorraine. Thank you. Tweet us at CNN News Report, #Academy Debate, and let us know who you think won. Up next, Donald Trump's hair. Is it real?